vegans violating human rights to eat meat provided by God himself. Is it the topic you proposed? Hello, can you introduce yourself and say something initially?
Yeah, hi, I go by the name of Gorilla Legends, and yeah, I believe in that. I love everyone, but I believe that human beings should have the right to eat meat, and is our God-given right.
Mm-hmm.
And even though like I used to been a former Christian, but I'm not a Christian anymore. But I'm definitely not an atheist because there's without a doubt in my brain, and just like without evidence on earth that we have a creator.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but before we start further conversation, could you please a little bit introduce yourself?
Okay, well, I'm like an old country boy from like the Caribbean, and I love everyone, but I do follow like the morals of like biblical texts, like the commandments. I
Mm-hmm.
will never harm anyone and anything like that, but I always think that human beings are, no matter what you look like, if you're a human being, you are my people, and we need to take care of each other instead of going into war. So I'm against like stuff like war, but I believe that I need to feed people, and like I try to help homeless people, I try to help old people, I try to help like handicapped people and stuff like that. I donated a lot of my stuff to, so I'm like I would basically in the context of like religion, I might go to hell, but I live in life on earth righteous, so that's all I could do and all I could say. But I used to have been a Christian, but I'm not anymore. But I'm not an atheist or agnostic.
So you seem like a very positive person. Probably if I met you personally in real life, maybe I would like you because you said you tend to help people, to support people. You support, you said handicapped people. Yes, did I understand correctly?
Yep. Uh-huh.
So, wow, probably we wouldn't be enemies in real life if we met in real life. Yes, but we met on internet. We met in context of veganism. So probably in real life we wouldn't go that far so fast. And probably our first contact would be, I guess, very positive. But yes, we are talking about veganism today, and you claim that God guarantee or God Himself provide us the right to eat meat. Yes, can you develop this thought? How did God tell this to you? How you know
Okay.
it? How do you recognize God's will or His opinions about which is right, which is wrong?
Okay, but I'm not gonna sit here and cherry pick the Bible because that would just be wrong of me and it would make me a horrible person. But I'm just saying that like based on like what the what the scriptures say, we was only allowed to eat certain type of creatures, but ever since Jesus came back, we were allowed to eat anything. So what I'm trying to say to you, basically, in a nutshell, is that yes, religious people can be vegan and it's completely fine, but chastising someone who eats meat and they're religious is like blaspheming because the whole premise of veganism is not that of God, and it's trying to tell you that my morals is wrong when God morals should be more stronger than anything else. So I don't want to cherry pick the Bible because that will make me wrong, and I don't want to be that person because I'm not.
Mhm. But why do you associate the God's will and the belief in God with the Bible? Who told you that the Bible is God's word? Did God Himself tell you that this is His word? How do you know it?
Well, that would have to be based on the prophets who wrote God's word.
Mhm.
So that's
How
what I'm
do you
saying.
recognize that those prophets are real prophets? Because as far as I know, Moses, with his personality, is no better person than Hitler or any other, horrible guys of the history. For me, he is just a regular psychopath. I might compare him with any regular serial killer. For me, he's no authority at all, and he's the last person who may have any idea, any knowledge about God. And it's I can easily prove that how fake he was when talking about God. You said before, when we started our conversation, before I started recording, that for you the Ten Commandments are kind of indicators of which is right, which is wrong. Am I correct?
Yes, you are correct because that's basically what the whole society, especially like Western society, is founded on. So basically, the Ten Commandments is basically what Western society is built on. So I go by the commandments. So yes, you are 100% right.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you know the story and what was the attitude of Moses himself, who brought those Ten Commandments? Do you know that the God? It took for the God um, just 7 days, actually 6 days. 6 days to create, allegedly, 6 days to create the whole universe with billions of galaxies, and billions of stars in each galaxy, and you know that our Earth and humanity is like nothing in the whole huge universe. But it took just 6 days. But to figure out those 10 commandments, which are not even original, they are already plagiat of some other or laws from neighborhood countries. And there is nothing really original and nothing really, how to say in English, I don't know, sorry.
Um,
There is no deep anything, nothing original. It's a very, very simple, basic things like don't kill, don't fuck around. It's nothing really, really very original in it. But it took for the God 40 days and nights. It was so difficult, so complicated for God Himself. And God Himself, this is the only thing He did physically, and gave. Directly handed into humans' hands, allegedly. He gave it physically to Moses. And he said, give your people those 10 commandments he gave on rocks. He wrote it on physically, personally, on rocks. So something, it must be an incredible treasure. It must be more precious than the whole universe, because you know it took for God 40 days for creating just universe, and it was just 6 days. Yeah, so this is more precious than whole universe. And he handed it in to Moses' hands, and he said, give them to your people, because they already started worshipping golden goat. You must give them and teach them. And Moses came back. He said, oh yes, indeed, they are worshipping golden goat. So he became so angry that he damaged those all this precious thing. Sorry, my English sucks. I don't have
yeah,
enough vocabulary
no, no, you
to
got to keep
describe
going.
the situation, but he didn't respect this. So, what was Moses' attitude to God? Was this situation real? What do you think? Because he met God himself. So, this is something incredible. He received something super precious, more precious than those people, this whole situation. This was something super precious, but he treated God as his own tool. Moses, in this situation, treated God like his dog. In the, of course, common understanding, common meaning, the way people treat dogs. Yes, so God, in this whole story, God is a tool of Moses. We see it very clearly in the situation. God is below Moses. Moses is above God. He can just throw um, the God's masterpiece. It doesn't matter. God is nobody for Moses. And you want to say that this situation is real, that Moses is really representing God, that Moses himself is not serious about this situation, was very unserious. We see from the situation that it was all fake. This is fake. This is not the situation when you really meet God. And do you really think that this is what should rule our lives, whole humankind? There are billions of humans, of people on the planet. We make. You said yourself that we are causing apocalypse on this earth. We are damaging, but we have, all of us people have alibi, because the 10 commandments. Okay, there is nothing in 10 commandments letting us eat animals. Actually, not in commandments, but then we know that later on the God forced people to ritual called Holocaust. And yes, from this, it was also, of course, coming from Moses. Moses was is famous as a great butcher, and but Moses is so much fake personality, so much of psychopath, that for me he's the last person who can be authority if about conversation about God.
Well, I mean, I kind of agree with you there because I already know. Because most people don't talk about it though, but it's true that when Moses got his power from God, he didn't. He got like his power from, of course, the creator who personally gave him his power, but he smited a lot of people, so he killed a lot of people, but he did save a lot of people too. And also too, Moses was basically around during the plagues, and that's why I'm just thinking, hmm?
Yeah, okay, you're talking about plagues. What do you think about plagues that God is sending right now? Because we are actually experiencing the plagues, and we are expecting the next plagues from God. In for me as a believer, those are plagues coming from God. And don't you think that this is the real voice of the God? Because for me, the reality and what God is trying to show us in reality is much more the information about God and His will and His way of thinking and His hierarchy of, what. Yeah, in reality, I'm searching for the voice of God in reality, and also contemplating and discovering, discovering His idea in reality. And you would completely ignore that we are being punished for eating meat right now by coronavirus, and next pandemics are coming, are on the way. And wouldn't you consider this information and the true voice of the God, comparing
No,
to the Bible and comparing to Moses' story, which is really, really fake? And there is too much of fight for power, too much greed, and too many very, very, like broken ambitions, male ambitions, too much about sexuality. It's really,
okay, how I feel
yeah.
is like you are definitely right. We are getting punished. Is because human beings are supposed to live free and not be subjugated to make somebody else and work hard to make somebody else rich when other people get subjugated. Whether it's communism or capitalism, we're not supposed to be doing that. And then all these people are going around just like on TikTok, just like stripping the earth just to go on TikTok with a camera that's like stripped from earth and destroying the earth. Like people who drive like cars, like people who drive cars. I haven't driven a car in 10 years, but people who drive cars and they call themselves a vegan and just like you're a vegan for whatever reason, but you're not eco friendly. I haven't drove a car in a long time, even though I'm a truck driver, only because I live in a world where people need to get their like foreign fruit or like their vegetables or like their toilet paper or like their cell phones or like all this stuff. So yes, we are all part of this now. But the thing is, the Western world will always be the Western world, and the Western world will always carry plagues, disease, warfare, world wars, and all of another anything like that. If you live in like a civilization where there's like a concrete, rather than living free, like people like the Sentinelese, or like people like the Amazonians who just like live free and just like don't have to go to work and just like hunter and gatherers, they can live free, and they're actually God's chosen people. But when you subjugate it, because there's always somebody on top who's the devil trying to tell you what to eat, what not to eat. You know what I mean? So
So the
basically,
devil is someone who tells you what to eat or and what not to eat. This is devil or evil, or what did you say?
oh, sorry, I talked too quick. I'm sorry, that's a bad habit of mine. But yeah, so the devil is basically going to tell you like it's okay to eat this, but it's not okay to eat this. And then this person is like, okay, is it okay to eat this? It depends on what they want. Because I hate to call people the devil, but the government is a known devil force. They're the biggest gang, organized gang ever.
You support the idea of total freedom, yes? You think we should do like anything we want, yes?
No, I don't. I don't believe in that because the world is already too dark to even go down that lane. But, however, though, I'm a anarchist at heart, so I definitely believe. that people should be able to go back into tribes. And then it's just like, I want to come visit and come see your tribe. I'm just like, get out of my place and leave now, or I'm gonna put you down. So yes, yes or no?
Sorry, it's not that I follow you 100% here. I'm really focusing to understand what you're saying, but it's not perfect. But I hope people who yeah, who are native, especially, they understand you better than me. And anyway, I would like you to define, to say this clearly, what the word evil means to you. How do you recognize what is good, what is wrong, what is evil, what is goodness? Because before we discussed Ten Commandments, and you said that originally you tend to recognize this as the indicators, but do you really think that people need such indicators? Don't kill, otherwise we don't know not to kill others. You think there is nothing embedded in our psyche that to prevent us from killing our neighbors? And how do you recognize what, and how do you define evil?
Okay, well, when I first think about evil, I directly link it between other human beings. If someone's doing something evil, which is harmful and like dangerous, or like might actually get them like subjugate another human being specifically, only a human being, that's directly evil. And I'm 100% get it. If like somebody, like if a dude, sorry, let me slow down. If a dude is beating his wife,
Mhm.
I would try to like intervene, but I would not try and like stop him because maybe the woman did something to him. So I'm not gonna try and like defend anyone. I'm gonna just make sure like
Mm.
nothing's going wrong. But I would try to intervene in some type of way.
You like instinctively you understand what evil is, if related to, if regarding to humans, yes? So you
Yes.
instinctively know what is evil. You see the situation and you don't need to analyze, you don't need to open the book to read some verses to understand, oh, this situation might be considered wrong. You already know, yes? But okay, but before you mention the Ten Commandments, so according to the Ten Commandments, woman, which you want to protect, is at the same level as a cow, as there is
No, 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 no.
in
Hold
one
on,
of
hold
the
on.
commandments, women are mentioned together with the property that. Another man cannot desire another man's woman or a slave or a cow or a house or all the kind of property. So woman is actually position of woman in the Ten Commandments is the same as position of a donkey or cow or whatever animal and whatever other property. So why you isn't this because this actually this is the our civilization brought to us that women are now equal, actually more or less equal to men, yes? And we also quitted the slavery, which is supported by the Bible very, very strongly. It is even a sin to fight with slavery. Yes, this is considered a very serious sin. You are not allowed to disobey your master. You are not allowed to fight. So even the fight, abolition of slaves, is already a great sin according to the Bible. But but look, we live in the 21st century, so we already, the civilization gave this to us, that we already have free people. No, there are no slaves, at least officially, because in reality we know that there are, and the
Yep.
women are treated more or less equally to men. So you would protect a woman. So why wouldn't you protect a cow or a pig?
Because I will never dare degrade a female
Mhm.
to that of like a non-human animal, because like people love, well, in history, maybe even now, because of like I see a lot of vegans comparing like humans
Mhm.
to animals, and it's not even the case. Like I'll tell you straight up, like if I see like if you were struggling and something happened, like your house was on fire, I would take you inside my house and just try and feed you, and I would literally kill 100,000 pigs just to feed you and your kids. If you don't eat pig, like chicken or fish, 100,000 just to feed one human being. Because I love human beings that much because I am a human being that I would
Mhm,
hope, but I don't want to be compared to like a roach, a rat, or like a mosquito, or like a fly, or like a frog because I'm not.
mhm,
So
uh,
I think of it like really highly disrespectful that someone that we are all well we have all God's children, but some of us stray away, and basically we some people are the devil's children. And God made this world perfect, but the thing is, people turn to evil and do the most demonic things ever. Because if you look into the history about how the Western world happened, it was not just because everyone came together and be like, oh, let's have fun. It's over war, rape, and murder. And the most freest people has never been through that. They just want to live in the jungle free, and all these people just harassing them. So basically, what you're saying to me, I kind of understand. But at the end of the day, when people say that in the Western world, they're literally living on blood-soaked land just to live in a house to be safe. So that's what I'm saying. It is like hypocritical because God doesn't want us to live like this. He doesn't want us to work for some rich dude who's gonna subjugate and murder other people. You was right about Moses. Yeah, he was he murdered a lot of people, but also too he saved a lot of people at the same time.
mm,
So basically, when it comes to the plague, there's a plague that's actually happening right now because I've been pinpointing the plagues. The next plague that's been happening is in Australia, and it's coming soon to a country next to you. Because when these rats, when these rats get stronger, or when these plague animals get stronger, there's no killing them, and they're gonna just plague through all your food, and then there's gonna be a famine. This always happens time and time again, but people pretend like history doesn't exist. But it is. Hopefully, you understand what I'm saying.
mhm. Uh, okay, you said a lot, and so yeah, you. I think there is some goodness in you, and I don't want to say that I don't notice this and I don't see it. Um, but you said that you only love people. But isn't this the case that you will protect people because you can identify with people? You see another person, for example me, I'm like you see, oh, she's like me, you can identify yourself with me. So
Hmm.
in reality, and I will tell you something more interesting, and actually this is Jesus' opinion. Jesus was actually fighting with this kind of thinking you have just introduced, because supporting somebody who is like you and another human is more or less like us, we can identify with us. So for example, Jesus condemned the such morality that people care about like their own group, that for example people care about their families, their own nations, they're like the closest group. And he condemned a lot because when he said that when you care about your own people, like your family, that means you don't care about another person at all. You care about yourself, because when you care about somebody that you can identify with, and in this case you can identify yourself with another human, that means you care only about yourself. You show what you want to be done to you. You do with people who you can identify with. Yes, you can identify with other people. Therefore, you care about them. You said you don't want to be treated as rat. You have nothing to do with rats. Therefore, you don't care about rats. And I think, and Jesus also thinks, and this is his teaching, that the whole morality and something valuable, the whole value starts when you start caring about somebody who you cannot identify yourself. That means you don't care about yourself, you start caring about somebody else, someone that you don't identify with, someone even that you dislike, that you don't want to have anything to do with this person, but you do it because this is right, because you know that this would be unjust to treat him badly. Doesn't matter that he's not like you, that he's maybe different species than you, that you don't identify yourself, this is not you. That from this moment starts the situation that now you start caring about somebody else. As long as you care about um, uh, entities that you can identify yourself with, um, this is still the situation that you still care about yourself only. Therefore, recently I published the video where I said, "Oh, I have just rescued 4 rats who were supposed to be live feed
I
for
seen the video. I
snakes."
seen the video.
But I don't. Do I love rats? No, I just did it because this was right. Because I disagree with this level of harm. But now I feel that this was so right because I did it for someone that I didn't feel, oh, cute, cute, cute rats. This was somebody else than me, somebody else different than my own preferences. I even have some problem to, with their odor.
Okay.
It's difficult for me, but this is somebody else. This is where the value starts.
Veronica,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, though, what you did was like, in essence, like beautiful, but you didn't think about like the snakes, though, because whilst you're protecting the rats,
Uh-huh.
snakes always eat meat. The thing is, you basically starve a snake. So you need to think about the whole bigger picture because yes, what you
No,
did was
before
beautiful.
bigger pictures, the snakes are they should not be here. We are not the country of those those exotic snakes. They were brought here, but by stupid men who want to, who want to impress others to show, oh, how mysterious I am, how cool I am. Those snakes shouldn't be here. We are not country of boa snakes or pythons, or they shouldn't be here. We No, we must fight with this. Absolutely. Of course, if you are from exotic country, maybe you have snakes in nature, those kind of snakes, so maybe you look at the story differently, but in nature there are no those kind of. But anyway, let's not focus on this story. Okay, this was just an example of supporting somebody different than me, which means now in this case, I really feel that I helped someone, not myself. But because as long, for example, when I care about my son or the people I like, the closest people, my relatives, this is not yet considered caring about someone. This is still caring about myself. Yes, as long as you can identify with those persons. I say deliberately, I say persons because you can also identify with your dog, and like anybody who is close to you. This is you still care about yourself. So the whole morality starts outside this comfort zone. Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Would you like to say something else and
Yes.
regarding our topic, or maybe
Okay.
you want to think about what I said? We don't need to talk long today. Maybe we can also meet another day.
Okay.
And
Okay. But like think about this because you are one of my people and we are you are my creators people directly and we are from the same creator. Like if there was like say like you and your child was like say there was an earthquake happened and you and your child was like dangling off a cliff and I was only there and then there's like two cats, a cat and the cat's mom dangling off a cliff. Would you want me to save you other than the two cats? Because if I save the two cats, that would just be morally wrong of me, thinking that a cat is more important than a human being's life.
mhm.
This is what.
I think yeah, I know that people sometimes like to use the situation. I think it's irrelevant. Irrelevant. This is irrelevant.
Okay,
Uh,
what no, no
It
sorry
is
to cut you off.
irrelevant because this is rescue this one or this. When there is alternative this or this, so we know that this is the situation that whatever choice you take, it's always tragic. It's tragic choice because it's always tragic. The the final result is always tragic because still, if you tell me the situation that somebody must die, so the situation is tragic. Someone must die.
Yeah,
Yes.
but it's
So
a
either
moral
you do this
decision
or
though.
that, the situation is tragic.
No, but it still is a moral decision. I would just be like, sorry, cats, but my fellow human is here, and she's and her kid is one of my God-given children, and we were like, you know what I mean, my people. So sorry,
Yeah,
cat.
I wouldn't blame you for this decision because this is yeah, this is just decision. This is a difficult decision, and yeah, I wouldn't blame you for this. This is extreme situation. I only don't like when people try to use those kind of dilemmas in veganism related debates because I think it's irrelevant
I, I agree with
in
you.
this topic.
Can I ask you a question now? Can I ask you a question?
Yes, yes.
Okay, because even though like I mean, yeah, I eat meat, whatever. Okay, but you are like honestly, to goodness, you are one of the most beautiful souls that I have seen on the internet. Never met. Excuse me. But you are right though.
I'm quite surprised to hear this because
No, no,
I
but
thought we would be
you are.
fighting in this debate, and you say I'm surprised. Mhm.
No, the only reason I ask you is because I sense your loveliness in you, so that's why I just wanted to just like reach out to you and see if I could actually talk to someone. Because I wanted to ask you a question though: do you believe in animal welfare, or do you believe in animal liberation, where no one should eat an animal whatsoever? Because
Mhm.
I think we might be having to talk about animal welfare
Uh-huh.
because
Yeah.
you admit it, which I actually thought was beautiful because you're very sane, unlike like most people who are vegans, saying that the world would never be vegans. So my argument is that my God given right, even though like my creator is given right, is that I could eat meat. And if someone's vegan, cool, whatever. Cool. I'll make you some vegan food, but judging me for eating meat is like blasphemy. It's like you're just saying like you're better than God at this point. And you say you know what's better than God.
um, All right, you start. You are trying to start another very interesting topic, and actually, we didn't answer the original question whether God gave us right to eat meat or not. Actually, we didn't even start this topic. It's like whole our conversation so far sounds
No, I
like initial
definitely did.
situation, initial conversation to this topic. But you know what? There is one problem that people don't like long videos, and if we continue and if we start the more interesting conversation right now, nobody will even listen to. I listen. I have um,
Let's do
proposal
this
to you.
again then.
Let's meet another day and continue both those topics. Also, animal welfare versus animal liberation. I will tell you my opinion. This is actually only this topic is, only is enough for one full conversation, I think. And also, I didn't even explain fully. This was like intro to the argument whether God gave us the right to eat meat or not.
Oh yeah, yeah. So my question is, ever since we've been created by God, we has been like people want to call it the Garden of Eden, and I don't want to talk too much about it, but there's like a specific place that you could actually find it if you look deep enough and like actually find it. And there's a little bit of a loophole that I cannot tell anyone. I could tell you like personally because I don't want anyone to know about it. But yeah, ever since then we've been fighting to be dominant, and we are not vegetarians or vegans. We've always been meat eaters the whole time, and that's the reason why we're alive. So yes, God gave us the right to eat meat, and animals are in a dominion. But the thing is, what we do with these animals in our dominion is the issue that I have.
Mm-hmm. I got your point. What do you say to my proposal that we get back to this topic another day? Because honestly, it's also for me. I must really, really focus to when I listen to you. It's not easy for me, and also I am like all you know. I am non-English speaker. This is not very difficult for me. Not very easy to keep this debate conversation in English, and I would like to meet you another day, like continue this conversation and get back to and like a separate conversation about animal welfare versus liberation. Do you agree to my proposal? Because it's
Yes, I definitely do because you're really a nice person, and I was really right when I actually asked to talk to you. But your English is actually really good, so don't beat yourself up because I understood like basically everything you said.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, but for me, it's not very, very easy to understand you. Probably I will need to listen again to what you said to really grasp everything because I cannot say that I instantly did when you were speaking. So this is my proposal. Let's meet another day and let's continue. Okay?
I, I accept definitely because you're such a lovely person. I'm like I'm actually like smiling. because I never thought I would like talk to like a lovely person like on a device. Like if you told me this when I was like I was born in '86, so when I would never thought like I could have a time machine and go back and like you would be talking to a girl from um Poland
Mhm.
about like animal rights and stuff like that, because I used to been like a really hardcore nerd about like the environment, animal rights and stuff like that. So if I went back to myself and said like, "Yo, you would be," I would just be like, "No, I'm not going to." And then so I'm really happy right now because
Mhm.
the world needs help, and we should not be hating each other. We should come together.
Mhm. Okay, so thank you for today, and thank you all who are listening to us. And I promise we get back to the topic because this is very important. Those are actually both. Those are very important topics, and yeah, we definitely need to develop them. Thank you very much for today.
Have a good day.